Minos, from Plato, generally considered spurious or apocryphal. Socrates and a friend. How should we define law? Which law are you talking about? Well, does one law differ from another law simply by being a law? Pay close attention to what I'm asking. If I asked you what gold is, and you answered by asking which gold I was talking about, I think your question would be out of place, because gold doesn't differ from gold in its essence as gold, nor does stone from stone in its essence as stone. In the same way, a law does not differ at all from another law, all laws are of the same nature. Every law is equally a law, and it's not the case that this one is more of a law and that one less. So, what I am asking you is, what is law in general? If you have a ready answer, tell me. And what can law be, Socrates, other than what is legitimate? In that case, would you say that speech is what is spoken? Or sight is what is seen? Or hearing is what is heard? Or is sight one thing and what is seen another, hearing one thing and what is heard another, and likewise, law one thing and what is legitimate another? Let's see what you think about this. Now I think they are different things. So, law is not what is legitimate? It doesn't seem like it is. Then what is law? Let's begin to examine this question in the following way. If someone, using the examples we just mentioned, were to say to us, since you assert that sight sees what is seen, what is this sight that allows us to see? We would reply that it is a sense that, through the eyes, reveals colors to us. And if he asked us again, since it is by means of hearing that what is heard, what is this hearing? We would reply that it is a sense that, through the ears, reveals sounds to us. In the same way, if we were asked, since it is by means of law that what is legitimate is established, what is law? Is it a kind of sense that it reveals what is legitimate to us, just as we learn what can naturally be learned through science, which demonstrates it to us? Is it a discovery like those by which we uncover everything we are given to discover? For example, we discover what is healthy and what is unhealthy through medicine, and what the gods think, as the diviners say, through divination, because art is, in essence, a discovery, isn't it? Of course. Well then, with which of these ideas should we define law? The decisions of the government and its decrees, that seems to me to be the law. What else could it be? Therefore, we don't risk much by answering your question that law in general is the decision of the state. It seems you are saying that law is an opinion held by the state. Yes. Perhaps you are right to say so, but we will know better what to expect if we proceed in this manner. Are there people whom you call wise? Yes. The wise, are they not wise because of wisdom? Without a doubt. The just, are they just because of justice? Certainly. Those who obey the law, do they not obey it because of the law? Yes. And those who violate the law, do they do so because of lawlessness? Yes. But are those who violate the law unjust? Unjust. Are not justice and law good things? Indeed. And are injustice and lawlessness very bad things? Yes. The former are the well-being of the state and of all that exists, the latter are its ruin and disorder. Yes. Then we must consider law as something truly good and seek it as a benefit. Necessarily, that must be done. Did we not say that law is the decision of the state? That is what we said. And what about it, aren't there good decisions and bad decisions? There are. But law cannot be bad. No, of course not. Then it's not accurate to simply answer, as we did, that law is a decision of the state. That's what it seems like to me. It is against common sense for law to be a bad decision. Certainly. However, it seems to me that law is a certain opinion. And since law is not a bad opinion, it is absolutely necessary that it be a good one, since it is an opinion. Yes. But what is a good opinion? Is it not the one that is based on truth? Yes. And is the opinion based on truth not a discovery of reality? It is, in fact. Therefore, law is the discovery of reality. Since law is the discovery of reality, why is it, Socrates, that we are not governed by the same laws in the same circumstances after discovering reality? Law is always the discovery of reality. If people are not always governed by the same laws, as seems to happen, it is because they are not always capable of discovering the object of the law, which is reality. But let us now examine whether it should be admitted as certain that we have always had the same law or if we have changed it, and whether all peoples have the same laws or if they have different ones. This is a difficult point to decide, Socrates. It is clear that one people does not always have the same laws, and that different peoples have different ones. For instance, among us there is no law that commands sacrificing people to the gods, and on the contrary, it would be considered an impiety. The Carthaginians sacrifice victims of this kind, and among them it is a pious practice prescribed by law, with some even going so far as to sacrifice their own children to Saturn, as you may have heard. But it is not only the barbarians who have different laws. The inhabitants of Lyceum and the descendants of Athamas, what kind of sacrifices do they perform? And they are Greeks. In our own country, you are not unaware of the laws that were observed in funerals long ago. They did not wait for the body to be buried to sacrifice victims and send for the women in charge of offering libations. In a more remote era, the dead were buried in their own homes. We do none of this now. 1,000 similar examples could be cited, because the number of proofs that justify that neither peoples nor individuals are governed by identical laws is immense. It may well be, my excellent friend, that you are right. I, for my part, don't know. But if you are going to give long speeches about your way of thinking on this matter, and I do the same, we will never agree, or I am greatly mistaken. On the contrary, if we both focus on the same point, we can understand each other. So, if you prefer, ask me questions, or if you think it's better, you answer me. Socrates, I am ready to answer whatever you wish. Very well, what do you believe? Is what is just unjust and what is unjust just, or is what is just and what is unjust unjust? Without a doubt, what is just, and what is unjust. Do all people believe the same thing? Yes. The Persians too? The Persians too. And always? Always. Is it believed in this country that what weighs more is heavier, and what weighs less is lighter? Or does the complete opposite happen? None of that. What weighs more is heavier, and what weighs less is lighter. And the same in Carthage and Lyceum? Yes. What is beautiful, it seems, is considered beautiful everywhere, and what is ugly is considered ugly, and nowhere is what is ugly considered beautiful, or what is beautiful considered ugly. Without a doubt. Is it not believed in all countries that what is what is, and not what is not? That's what it seems like to me. Then the person who is mistaken about what is mistaken about what is legitimate. According to what you say, Socrates, legitimate things are always the same for us and for other countries. But when I consider in my mind that we constantly create and repeal our laws, I cannot convince myself that this is the case. That is perhaps because you do not consider that in the midst of all these transformations, the law remains the same. But follow my reasoning closely. Have you by chance read any work on the treatment of diseases? I have read it. Do you know what art this kind of writing belongs to? I know it belongs to medicine. Then you call the experts in this art physicians. That's what I call them. And do the men skilled in this art all have the same rules, or does each one have different rules? I believe the same ones. Are the Greeks the only ones who reach the same conclusion about the things they know, or do the barbarians also agree among themselves and with the Greeks? It is essential that those who know coincide in the same conclusions, whether they are Greek or barbarian. Well answered. And does that always happen? Yes, always. But do physicians not write about health what they judge to be true? Yes. Therefore, the writings of physicians about medicine are the laws of medicine. Indeed. And the writings about agriculture are the laws of agriculture. Yes. Who are the ones who write about gardening and lay down its rules? The gardeners. These are the laws of gardening. Yes. Do they come from people who are knowledgeable about arranging gardens? Necessarily. Are the gardeners the only ones intelligent in this matter? Without a doubt. Who are the ones who write about preparing food and lay down the corresponding rules? The cooks. Then those are the laws of cooking. Indeed. They probably come from people who understand the preparation of food. Without a doubt. But are the cooks the ones who understand this? They are the cooks. Let it be so. Who are the ones who write about the administration of states and lay down its rules? Do they not come from those who understand the governance of states? That is true, in my opinion. Are there any others who understand this besides politicians and kings? No, there are no others. These political writings, which are called laws, are therefore the writings of kings and good people. That is true. But can knowledgeable people write differently about the same things? No. Nor will they establish different laws under the same circumstances. No, of course not. And if we see some people acting in this way, what shall we say they are when doing so, wise or ignorant? Ignorant. Consequently, shall we say that everything that is accurate is legitimate, regardless of the art in question, medicine, cooking, or gardening? Yes. We will say that everything that is not accurate is illegitimate. Necessarily. And so, in the writings about what is just and unjust, and in general, about the organization and governance of states, what is true is a royal law, but what is not true never is a law. The latter may seem like a law to the ignorant, but it is not, but is always illegitimate. Agreed. Then we are right to agree that law is the discovery of reality. It seems so. To fully understand this, let's consider the following. Who is the one who knows how to distribute the seed in the earth? The farmer. Does he not know how to distribute the appropriate seed for each kind of earth? Yes. The farmer is therefore an excellent legislator of seeds, his laws and his distributions are true. Yes. And who is a good legislator in the art of combining sounds to form a melody? From whom do the true laws in this case originate? From the flute player and the lyre player. In these matters, the best legislator is, consequently, the best flute player. Yes. And who is the one who best knows how to distribute food to people, considering their health? Is it not the one who best knows what is good for them? Yes. His distributions and his laws are, therefore, the best laws in these matters, just as he will be the best legislator. Certainly.